3, 2, 1. Peace, love, and life, family. It's your girl, Morgan Renee Myers, tuning in with you all for another episode of The Exchange. Today I have some wonderful guests on my show, some of my favorite people in the world, Brother T. Walker and Brother Born King of Soul Society. How y'all doing today?
I feel amazing. I'm amazing myself.
Oh, I'm so happy to be in y'all presence.
How you doing?
I'm superb.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Okay, bringing up. It's good to be amongst you.
Thank you. I'm glad for y'all to be here.
I'm called blessed.
Yes, I'm rocking a No More shirt today. She's a local fashion designer here in Greensboro, and we love her. We all rock her stuff, so had to support today until I get my. What you got on today, King?
Oh yeah, you know this is none other than the Know Thyself, Love Thyself, Be Thyself. Great affirmation, Soul Society shirt.
Okay, so okay.
Get you one.
What you got on?
Some heavy energy. And this is a no more press these up for me, so we're still in the no more energy. We're heavy energy.
Yes, heavy energy. Awesome. So okay, first of all, who are you guys? I know who you are, and I enjoy working with Soul Society. I would say, as most people would say, Soul Society changed my life. When you meet these brothers and the things that they're doing to impact our communities, it's just awesome. So why don't you give us the gist of what is Soul Society and what does Soul Society do?
That's love. So I'm Born King, speaking at high level of energy and responsibility over myself. Born King, servant of the people, to be exact,
Okay.
But Soul Society is really about tapping into the powers within, going within yourself and finding your passion and your purpose and figuring out what you got to do to manifest a lifestyle centered around your passion and purpose. And overall major thing we are about is creating the village mentality, recreating the village mentality, rebuilding that collective community where we all pour into a collective pot that's about elevating the overall community, the overall family.
That's beautiful. And so in what ways do you take everything you just said and implement it in your daily lives?
So I'm real big on researching and tapping into our history. A major part of my journey was going to A&T and really learning about deeper parts of our history and our experience, and learning about just the powerful people we come from and the powerful contributions that we contributed to the world. So I really realize that we're a creative, musical, artistic people. So we're real big on creating events and programs and workshops centered around the artistic expression.
Yeah.
That's one of the major things we do, just create platforms for us to use the artistic medium to bring our community together to express themselves and really control how our history, how our story is being told.
I think that's so important, and I'll give a confession or a review of some of my Soul Society experiences. One of their programs called the Heart Gallery, which they host in their hometown of Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's just popping. It does everything King just spoke of. It helps bring artists together, and not just visual artists, but I've met different authors, poets, educators, lots of different people from many walks of life through their programs. And I will say, just being connected with these brothers have introduced me to a lot of other people that have supported my own art, and we've also transferred money or done bartering and trading, and it's awesome. So I really like that you have that platform, because I think, like you said, we are a creative, cultural people. So even if your medium isn't painting or writing or whatever, maybe whatever it is that you do, you're good at organizing stuff, you're good at keeping things in order, hosting things, that's important. We need those people in our circle. So I appreciate y'all for having a space, or maybe if not a tangible space, an outlet for that, and then also having the people that are connected with y'all, because it's all about that energy too. I think if y'all was bums or real lame, people wouldn't want to be around y'all, but y'all are pretty righteous about how you go about it. So yeah. So now, Brother Walker, so you the researcher and you do all this. That's how we even met. You came up to me networking.
Yeah. So I just leave y'all with this as far as this part goes. I grew up, I was the laid back, quiet one, and real a analyst of the world, But when I got to A&T, I was just kind of away from my regular family and friends and everything, and I had to go out there and create my own path and carve out my own way, you know. So that created a master networker, you know. I understood I couldn't wait and hold back and just no, I had to go out there and go get it. So, you know, Sister Morgan here is one of the examples of, you know, a certain somebody that struck me a certain way at an event with a powerful poem. And I was like, yo, soon as she come off stage, I'm, you know, with a anime on. That's that super speed,
so
you know.
Yeah.
So I ran up on her with my Soul Society cards and gave her the spiel, and ever since then we've been part of the tribe, same tribe.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm real big on the networking piece, the financial literacy piece, and the entrepreneurship empowerment as well.
I'm here for it, Ken. I appreciate you being who you are, brother, because I said that spiel, boy, he come up on you, like, you gotta be ready.
You did that day?
I believe it was,
Black America, Black Man.
I feel like I did Black Men in America, but I also feel like I might have did Here's to Defeat, where I'm talking about us, like, being entrepreneurs and not depending on white people for jobs. Either one of those poems, both very powerful.
Yeah, I would have ran up on either one of them.
Either one of them.
Sister, nice to meet you. I love that. Let me tell you about Soul Society.
That was a good day. Dang, I wish that art space was still open. But yeah, okay. So you, brother, walking now, you do a lot. You're pretty creative and talented in these streets. So how do you use your avenue of your artistry to uphold everything that Brother King talked about, your organization is about?
By simple, like, just creatively creating platforms. Like the Heart Gallery came from like a creation. It was an album I had where I combined art, poetry, and my music. So being around artists and seeing them, in some cases, really take advantage of their passion and their craft, and some like not take advantage of it, and then coming back home and seeing where that platform wasn't even available. You know, so using that to like create spaces or create like these writing workshops, you know. And like in the beginning it was just winging it, you know what I mean, just trying to figure it out, like wanting to like do something, you know what I'm saying. And as like the purpose continued to grow and be found a little bit more, it's like, all right, what do we do next? But I'm a creative, you know what I mean, so in the space I'm like, all right, cool, let's do this writing workshop. And while he's researching other things, I'm over here figuring out how to put this together, and then sometimes like winging it. And we both like learn so much through like having to like be forced.
Now, when you say you're winging it, are you saying that you're being impulsive about it and just making stuff happen? Or do you have a little bit of research and planning before you do it?
It's really all of it, you know what I mean? So some of the winging it comes from having done something before, you know what I'm saying? And like I really always, like, my challenge to myself is to like do something different, you know what I'm saying? My lady asked me recently what's like one of the hardest questions I've ever had to ask myself, and it's always what's next. Because I'm like, all right, how do I take this to the next level? So like the Heart Gallery started out with like art, poetry, music, but then it was like, all right, how do we take this to the next level? Let's ask these people questions. All right, cool, how do we take this to the next level? Let's bring in authors. All right, cool, how do we take this to the next level? Let's bring in young entrepreneurs, you know. So it's like finding that challenge within the same realm, and some of it comes from like having learned or having done research or heard the research that he's done, and like, all right, cool, let me imply this. And sometimes I'll have an idea and might not imply it in the moment, you know what I'm saying, because my impulsive thought will be like, hey, this is the thing you should do right here, and then it's like boom, and then it sticks and continues to roll and becomes added to with that research and stuff.
Okay, awesome. So what is this heavy energy? What is that?
So it's an entity I created. It's about music, media, and technology. So me being an artist, you know, of course that's the music part, and then media is such a heavy influence on everybody, you know, whether it's that's where you go to get your news, that's where you learn what you're going to eat better, that's how you find out what's going on in celebrities' life, that's how you find out how to live your own life for a lot of people. But then like technology is always constantly advancing, and I've always been in the world of technology where I've like might have been taking apart cars as a young kid, putting them back together, doing something different with them. But like my first real music project that I put out was called I Am Technology. You know, so I wanted to kind of bring that full circle at the same time.
Okay, so you got this brand out here, heavy energy. You are, how would you define yourself? A rap artist, a lyricist, a what do you do?
Really, it's just like, boom. So I was sitting with somebody in Portland, and this older guy, and he was like, I need you to get some cards. Matter of fact, I'm gonna help pay for these cards if you get them that just say T. Walker, creative.
Oh.
You know, because as I was explaining some of the things that I do and like some of the things I want to do, he was like, you should just get a card that says T. Walker, creative.
Yeah, because that's
so
a lot.
like, it's a lot within it, whether it's rap, poetry, workshops, curating galleries. It's just, it's a lot to say.
It is.
When you're talking to people sometimes, but I don't mind.
Especially when sometimes if they're not in the artistic field, you don't want to feel like you rambling on or like you trying to put yourself. For me personally, I feel like sometimes like I'm talking too much about myself because I do this, I do that. Even on my business card, it's like, but you also need to know in case you might have met me doing oils, but you might need a crochet hat later, or you might need somebody to host your event later. So it's on there. But like you said, I think maybe just one conducive word, because then that'll lead to other questions. Well, creative, what do you create? What do you do?
Right.
So now you're ready for the spiel. I don't just throw it on.
Even sometimes when I do the spiel, it's intentional, because like you'll ask people what you've been up to or what do you do, and it's like nothing, chilling. I'm like, I know you've been doing more than chilling. Even if you failed at something, let's talk about that.
Let's
you know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
it,
But like if you just done nothing, what have I been doing? I bet. Let me go through this list, and then maybe in that time you'll think of, well, I have done some other things, even if you view it as small. You know what I mean? Like, let's build on it, whatever the case may be.
So you, what have you been doing, Brother Walker? You been on a tour recently? Where you been? What you been doing on this tour?
I've been in Washington D.C., been in Baltimore, Raleigh, Asheville, Nashville, Seattle, and then I just did 2 back-to-back shows in Portland. It's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
It's been a lot that's been going on.
Yeah. And all of this is for music. You just been doing your music.
Music and poetry. I mean, because I mix up the poetry in every set just to like do something different. You know what I mean, and not just be the rapper on stage. But in Nashville, I was supposed to work with a musician, and I don't know what happened. I didn't hear from them that day.
Okay.
You know, so, and you know, my whole thing was like, all right, initially I was a bit angry.
Yeah.
You know, like,
hey,
don't ghost me,
rock
bro.
out. Yeah, like say something.
But then it's like, all right, maybe something happened.
Right.
You know, so I'm gonna give them that, and I had to do a full poetry set. But it was cool though. You know what I mean? Because the setting was set for that, and then I just started to view it as like, all right, this is what people just needed today, and that was what I got immediately after it. You know what I mean? So my whole thing for that, or to the crowd, was just like, stay ready for whatever. You know?
Yeah. I bet a tour like this really helps challenge you. I've been thinking, because we're all artists, we all work with the people, and we just have like an influence and kind of a responsibility as being servants to our community, that you kind of gotta, like you said, stay ready, like with your energy levels. Like, we have to do the things that some people won't do to get to where we want to go and to help create spaces for other people. So that means like traveling a lot, being in random living, sleeping situations, extolling a lot of our money towards certain expenses, whereas, you know, most people just working to pay the bills that they have. Like, with a lifestyle like ours, that's not always conducive, so I think that that's important work. So that's cool. Okay, so you're out here having these experiences. I bet you're meeting a lot of different cool people and energies. Like, all right,
a lot of good food.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite foods to eat on the road, T.Y.?
I mean, I've been meeting, like, so I mean, in Portland it was food trucks. You know what I mean? So you can just try different. You don't have to eat the same food even for a whole month. You can visit a different food truck. But so one of the Airbnbs I was staying in the night before, I saw that there was a taco truck. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna hit the taco truck.
Tacos are life.
Yeah, you know, but it's a different type of authentic taco that you get. You know what I mean? From some of these different taco trucks.
They taste better than our Taco Wednesday tacos?
Nah, we get down.
Okay, cause I was saying, you know, try.
They're just a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying? And authenticity to it.
Okay.
So as I went to the truck the next morning, I saw these soul food. I said, these soul food.
Okay.
Then I smelled the chicken frying. I said, this smells cultural. This smells like somebody I know. This smells like a cousin, a grandma, auntie, or uncle, somebody. Yeah. So and it didn't open for like 30 minutes. So I found something to do. As soon as that joint was open, I walked right up in there and got me some wings and some collard greens, and that joint was hitting, and it tasted like home. You know what I'm saying? And it was so dope to get that in Portland.
That's what's
you
up.
know, because I mean out there I've been trying different food trucks, so tacos, pizza, Revante's Pizza to be specific. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on something with them. I'm trying to get a whole sponsorship. I need that. Blue Star Donuts, you know what I mean? Just like trying different stuff while I was in Nashville. Went to a place called Monell's where they do like, so what they do is like you might come in, just you and whoever, but they sit everybody at a table.
With strangers?
With strangers. And like they bring all the food out in this, you have to pass the food to the left. You know, and it was,
me and King ain't.
Nah, that was how I felt. But like sitting down at the table, first off, the food was cool. You know what I mean? Well, the food, some of it was hitting, some of it was like, all right, my grandma. You know what I'm saying? Get active. You know what I mean? But you know, you've been defeated, and in some places it's like this is hitting. But like the conversation at the table was cool. You know?
I bet that is cool. Sitting down with different people you probably would have never crossed paths with. So that's important.
From all types of industries.
That's what's up. Okay. Sound like you're having a pretty festive life out in these streets. So I want to bring it back into some of the other important work that you're doing for the people in the state of North Carolina for right now, but I know it's going to expand. You're going to have many chapters around the world. Brother, I've been seeing you on the Instagram talking to people that I guess I should know, like a 19 Keys guy and some other guy you've been having. I don't be as up to date as I could. Y'all know I'm a grandma in real life and just trapped in a young body. But yeah, so I've been seeing you having these important meetups with people. What are you planning? What is the next big move?
Ultimately, you know, we going global. You know, we building up these global connections, and I'm one that's like, I don't know, it'd be like certain people I'm inspired by, I'm tapping into online, and
they're responsive?
No, well, I'm just saying in general, like I might just watch their YouTube, I might watch them on Instagram, and I'm inspired by them, I'm tapping into them at a certain chapter in my life, and then it's like, well, we need to connect. You feel me? So I go out and make a connection somehow or another, you know. So
these guys, they're the best.
Shout out to the shifters, you know. They are a powerful group of educators, entrepreneurs, and me and one of our brothers, Dominic Thought, the shifters, 19 Keys, some of the other individuals you may have heard of, Red Pill and Blue Pill. Yeah, they, was it last year? It might. Well, whatever, it was like a year, a little bit more than that ago, they had an event in Atlanta, and it was like, some people, you know, they wait on things to come to them. We like, nah, we trying to figure out what's the next move, and we let the soul lead to a certain extent. So we went down there, connected with them, started a relationship, and we ended up bringing them to Greensboro, 19 Keys specifically, and then we just been connected ever since. Yeah, it was a beautiful, powerful event. And ultimately it's like we about connecting and building this village up. So it's like if we see people in alignment that are in places that we want to be in or vibrating in the same wave that we on, then we gotta connect. So we just go out there and connect, whether it's finding an event, the next location, next city that's close to us, and we just gonna make the connections at the end of the day.
I like that. I'm gonna say this for some context, because we don't always know who's listening. But when we speak of this village mentality, we're black, and we know if we knew anything more about our Aboriginal state, or we were Moors, we probably would call ourselves that. But y'all know what we mean. We have melanin. So a lot of us have to learn how to work together and do things, and understand that we can support one another with our efforts, just like other cultures do, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's what we think and speak about when we talk about like our village and our tribe and stuff like that.
Yeah, let me just throw this on that real quick. So as an example, you know, we one of the greatest examples of collective economics and working together as a family and community is the Hispanic, Latino. I don't know about the political correctness of some of these terms.
Hispanic, I think is the general.
Specifically,
nah, that's, we ain't gonna get it.
But really the whole point is, you know, we'll laugh at the Mexicans for being all piled up in the house or all piled up in the car, but that's that village mentality though. That's that collective economics. So one quick example is there was a family that I grew up by, a Mexican family. It was, everybody was there, the mama, auntie, grandma, brother, sister, and them. It was about 10 of them in this house. And you know, like I said, to us, we'll laugh and joke about it. You feel me? Meanwhile, we all divided, and mama over there, grandma over there. We gotta travel states, and you feel me? Like, I literally watched them pull their resources and money together, and now at this point in life, they got 3 restaurants, they got a barbershop, and a cleaning business.
Wow.
Everybody got their own car now.
Wow.
Everybody is thriving, and you know, we in the same position.
Because they took time to sacrifice and pull their money together.
I just watching them take off. Like, don't forget about me over there. Yeah, we're going to catch up with y'all.
That is important. That's big. So you have something coming up called the We Are the Goal.
Yeah.
And somebody important is coming out. What's going on with that?
Yeah. So We Are the Goal. It is really, the theme is about highlighting ourselves as the wealth, value, and solutions in our community. Like
the wealth, value, and solutions.
I feel like we don't really realize the power that we come from, the power that is within us, and the capabilities we have to create the communities and the lifestyle that we want to live. And a lot of times we'll point the finger at everybody else. The government need to do this. It's somebody else's fault. And some of that be true, but at the same time, you still are in the position you in. It's still up to you to change your community. Like, I can complain about the education system all I want to, but it's still our kids and our people that's being affected by it. So I'm gonna wait for somebody else to change that?
Right.
Nah, so we started to look at ourselves as, what can we do? How can we cause an effect? How can we change the paradigm that we living in?
That's powerful.
And so this specific event, we're doing it in Durham, and I add this as well. So growing up in North Carolina, in Jacksonville, right by Wilmington, finding out about the Black Wall Street that was in Wilmington as an adult, finding out about the Black Wall Street that was in Durham a couple years ago. I'm 28. I grew up in North Carolina. How we found out about Tulsa, Oklahoma way before that, and that was as an adult as well. But at the end of the day, to realize, like, because North Carolina kind of get downplayed as like the wealth and value that's here, you know. But when you really find out where certain people are from and certain things that happen throughout history, like North Carolina is prominent, you know. And specifically, we're doing this in Durham at the Hayti Heritage Center, which is literally a building that was built by our people, some of the descendants of some of our ancestors that I mean, you're talking about 20, 30 years coming out of slavery, building a whole self-sufficient community. Wow. And I literally saw an excerpt on the wall that, shout out to Desana Hanu. We had a stage play at this building, and we saw this excerpt on the wall in the Hayti Heritage Center that was from W.E.B. Du Bois, talking about his experience when he visited Durham, North Carolina.
Wow.
And he was talking about how Durham was like the prominent black community, like the prominent black community in the nation. And the excerpt was really about how every part of life, from the hospital you were born in was built by black people, ran and operated by black people. The schools were built and operated by black people. The stove you were cooking on was built by black people. You were cooking food raised and grown by black people. And every part of life, he literally was talking about how you really didn't even have to leave Durham to get anything. Like, they literally built and created every part of life, clothes, what you name it, they created it. So the theme of We Are the Goal, which is about highlighting the wealth and value that we have and the potential that we have. I mean, if we see what they did 20, 30 years coming out of slavery, what can we do in the next 20, 30 years if we bring our village mentality together and that collective economics together? So we're going to have Brother David Banner. He's going to be hosting the event November 29th at the Hayti Heritage Center. It's going to be a performing arts and community empowerment event. We're going to have live musicians, spoken word, some singing. And we're going to be highlighting some of the local leaders and initiatives in our community. So one being this male entrepreneurship academy that we have started, and then the other is Sankofa Farm. It's a brother by the name of Kamal Bell. He has an 11-acre farm right outside of Durham, and he does agricultural education for the youth on. So what's more powerful than getting our finances and our economics together, as well as reconnecting to the land and nature and what's growing out of it and what we're feeding ourselves.
Yeah.
There'll also be another guest there as well, won't it?
Yeah, we got the dynamic, powerful, legendary educator, entrepreneur, health guru, brother Blue Pill is gonna be in the building with Smoke and Grow Rich, which is it's a company that's built
Smoke
on.
and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Nah. It's a company that's really, they talk about the power of the land and
Of the herbs.
Hemp.
yeah, hemp.
Hemp is the new way.
I mean, you know,
I'm not opposed to him. I just.
yeah. But literally, he's gonna be talking about like opportunities to get, you know, finances through him. He's like 1 acre can produce like $10,000 to $20,000. So he's gonna be breaking down different opportunities they have for like you to be a distributor or for you to grow, you know. So they say this is literally gonna be the next big wave, like the gold rush they had. This is like the green rush, and it's like this is an opportunity to close the wealth gap.
Yo, you just gave me an idea. So, like, it sounds like what you're speaking of, us getting together, learning about the land, and utilizing all our resources and all this and that. It sounds like a new way for new job opportunities for people. Maybe something that's different. So, like you spoke of the Hispanics earlier, and even I've seen Asians do it too. They just come, they live together, they got their own stuff. It sounds like stuff we may not be interested in per se, or something we're used to, but it could afford us in the long term. I think a lot of us are very right here and right now, which is also necessary because you gotta eat, you gotta pay bills. But if you could be learning a trade or getting into something that may not be your first choice, but in the long run you will benefit tremendously, I think that that's important. So that's awesome. We're gonna be
So he says like, so it's a new thing. So when it first hit your ears, like,
yeah,
no, you can get a pound of CBD for $600 to $1,200. You can sell each gram for $10 to $15. Like, it's 448 grams in a pound. You
now,
can
is CBD legal?
It's legal.
Oh.
Yeah,
What's the difference? Okay, since we're
legal.
talking about it, I didn't see this interview going here, but what's the difference between marijuana, hemp, CBD? Like, what are these things?
So I don't know the full science of it, but I do know as far as like the euphoric, spaced out
that THC
chemical
stuff is not in it.
THC is psychoactive.
Okay, so this ain't gonna make me feel like high in my
CBD
head.
attaches to, so like we naturally produce cannabinoids. You know what I mean? So
Oh.
like that, it connects with those, and like either you'll get a super relaxed feeling. I mean, depends on which herb, what plant you get. But I mean, the same way that marijuana, you know, is grown and is legal in some places for like whatever health aspects, you know.
Okay.
But like CBD is the same. You just don't get that out of your mind psychoactive feeling from it.
Right. So
Is it worth trying?
no. So check it. It really that depends on what you in it for. But when you're talking about the medical side, when you're talking about some of the things that we get out of marijuana, like lowering your stress level, dealing with your anxiety, and pain relief and things of that nature, CBD can do some of the same things, except you can smoke that, get the medical side, and still be in your right mind and think clear and go out and operate.
Okay. And you don't have to smoke it. There's oils and ointments and potions and lotions
edibles
and all that
and everything.
jazz.
You know.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brother Kane. I'm going to transition back to some art over here with Brother T. Walker. So you've been a lyricist for some time now, from poetry to rapping and things like that. So I'm a fan, y'all. Like, I'm really a fan. I enjoy this brother's work because it's not like your typical just talking about everything that you hear on the radio type stuff. There is a balance in his work. So for you, what would you say is your favorite part of the creative process? Is it the writing of your lyrics? Is it the recording of it? Is it the performing of it? What do you enjoy the most out of the process?
Right now, it's the introducing it to new people. You know, it's been in different stages. So like before it was just like, all right, I like writing dope stuff. Then as I started mixing and engineering my own music, I like the mixing process and making it sound exactly like I wanted to, and like being able to contort my voice and change it to different things to get a message across. Then now it's like my creative process, the what's next, is like the, all right, how do I get this to people? So I like creating the tour. That's the beautiful part of it. Then getting in front of different people, and it's a different show every night.
Yeah, and seeing their reactions. Because it's one thing to keep being in front of crowds, you know, that support you or rock with you, and then going other spaces where nobody heard you, and seeing that reception.
And having like a certain perception. You know, I come in, I'm the black dude with locks.
Yeah.
So in some of these spaces, like Seattle, Portland, it was like full like white rooms. You know, like even like Seattle we were at Google. It was 150 people.
Congrats on that.
Appreciate it.
I saw your story. You said you wanted to work for Google, and then you was there performing.
Yeah, I did like a lot of papers, a lot of research on Google in college, and then like to be there was like crazy. You know what I mean? For a sold out show. But like it was a lot of like not black people, white people there. A lot of cultures, a lot of Asians, a little bit of everything. But like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And there were very few of us, and the ones that were there, I could see how like of a relief or like a whatever the case. I can't even think of the word, but it was just like they were like, all right, cool. I see one of us up there, and like knowing that they always come for good music for this, but then they see me, and then like in some spaces I'm in there heavy energy hoodie or heavy energy tee or black and gifted coat track pants or black, whatever the case may be, you know, and it's like, all right, he look like a rapper, what he about to do?
Right.
You know, and I do that, you know what I'm saying, but I like being able to like engage people and scan the room and notice that people are like locked in, and then make eye contact with them and lock them in even further, you know, and so that part of the creative process has been cool.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song that you created?
Nah, I don't. Right now it might be.
You don't?
I don't. You know, I mean, because it constantly changes. You know, I mean, sometimes it changes with my mood, or it change with whatever space I'm in. Or
so you don't have one song where you're just like, my lyrics was just like the shit on that. Like, this is my song.
I would have. Nah, I'm messing with you. But like,
I thought about it once I did it.
I'm messing with you. But like, I mean, so when I finished Act 2, it was Lust Demons.
Act 2, what they understand?
Strictly for my niggas, United States of Affliction, Act 2. My album everywhere, Apple, Tidal, Spotify, or you can go to HeavyEnergyUniversity.com.
I'm on that.
You on that one? She did the interlude for Lust Demons, so that was like one of my favorite ones, and not even so much because of the lyrics though. I mixed that.
Oh, you worked on that.
Yeah, so like doing even like playing with the voices and throwing in different effects in different places. I loved that one the most out of that project.
That was a good project, and it was a good song choice. Can you spit us anything real quick?
All right.
We knew freestyle.
Well, I tell you what this is coming from, since I'm about to release this song. It's called Beat the Odds.
Well, we get new
featuring Jamay.
Okay.
You know, my last.
Feel me, that's my girl.
My last 2 releases have had Ivory Child and Jamay up there. I locked them in the studio and made sure I can get all I can get out of them some days. You know, because I wanted to capture their energy, and we had talked about for a minute doing music together, not just let's all create. Now I was like, let's
do it together.
Lock in, you know. So, but young black, should have graduated, but I decided that I was finished. Stereotype career rapper. I know someone called me nigga. Locks swinging and they growing. I prefer paper over swisher. If you wanna feel free, then break them chains up off your mental. Me, I want some gold dental. My soul dance on instrumentals, flowing free is now a river. You know I could have been a killer, lawyer, builder, crack dealer. I got options. I'm breaking through the ceiling, no the roof is missing. I'm still working on better decisions. Some trying to make a living, and I'm living to make more lives better. One day at a time, daily, I gotta exercise. My heart, my soul, my mind. We steady on this grind. With all this on my mind, this crazy world that we live on, just find yourself, then find some gold. What you don't seek may never know. Cherish me, I'll cherish you. That's from the seed to the soil now. Watch where you stepping, cause some around you gon' still call you. That's just nature. Plant a tree and get your paper. Get your paper. I better rather beat the eyes, man. I better rather beat the eyes.
I better rather beat the eyes.
That'll be on the website soon.
Okay.
Maybe this week.
What's the website? Where can they follow you?
HeavyEnergyUniversity.com.
And where else?
I'm T Walker NC on everything, from Snapchat to Cash App and everything in between. And literally now everything in between. Cause while I was in Seattle, they was like, we don't do Cash App, but we do Venmo. So I had to download Venmo in the spot.
Look, you had to look, so they keep you accountable.
Yeah,
Don't
and they
tell
was
me
like, well, you
everything
said on
was-
everything.
Right.
I was like, I didn't even know I was gonna come to this.
Multiple ways to get paid.
Let me
Yeah.
fill in the space for you, you know, stand in line. Let me download this. It'll take me about 2
Right,
minutes.
just 2 minutes. I got you. I can
let
take
me get
that
this
Venmo.
cash sale real quick while we wait.
Okay, so T Walker NC on everything from Snapchat to Cash App, HeavyEnergyUniversity.com, and then Soul Society. Y'all also have different gear and stuff that people can purchase, right? How can they find that?
Yeah, so the Know Thyself shirts, you gotta directly contact us on Soul Society NC on Instagram.
Okay.
We do have a store online, SOULSocietyStore.com.
Okay.
And we got our website, SoulSocietyNC.org.
Okay. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you, brothers. And
Appreciate
I
you.
want to say, since I've met you all, I really feel like I've become one with the family, from being able to be around your actual family. Like, they're awesome people. They're very family-oriented brothers. And I think that really helps with their character and the type of things that they're into and their caring nature. Just meeting the strong people that I've met through their family, I can see why they are the way they are, and it's amazing. So shout out to the Pages and the Walkers and everybody in between that have made you who you are. And the opportunities that I've been able to, I really be like eating in these streets.
Now let me say this about you.
Oh.
So like when we first moved to Greensboro, this was a hands-on, like seeing everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you do a lot. You really a hustler. You're an entrepreneur. So seeing that was like inspirational at the same time, because you get active. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you crocheting here, you cooking here, you know what I'm saying? You selling oils here, you selling No More shirts, your own shirts, you making earrings, and it was like you were constantly in a what's next mode as well. You know what I mean? So, and that was like really dope to see and experience. So I appreciate you for that.
Don't make me cry too much. Oh, quick question, real quick, before we end this interview. So, thank you for gassing me up. I like words of affirmation. It was beautiful. So, initially, when I started the exchange, we ain't even got to delve into it, but how it even came about. T. Walker had a radio interview with some trash company that we will not name, and I was just tagging along, and we ended up creating a joint show, which was this together, and we started off interviewing folks we know and just talking about stuff, and that was awesome. So what has it been like? You seen me hustle, you seen me move. What was it like hosting the show with me, and then also like even having me incorporated in your album? What is that like?
It was a beautiful experience. You know what I mean? Doing the work with the podcast radio show. You know,
talks a lot, really did.
Yeah, you know, like even a matter of like, all right, we gotta upload this at a certain amount of time, and then like sometimes doing it in crunch time. Having you on my album was dope because like it came unexpectedly, and then we made it what it was. You know, it came from simply, I remember we was in Wilmington, we had the soul session, and then we was just talking about the project and different things I was incorporating into it, you know. And then next thing I know, you sent me a poem, you know, and I don't even, was it finished when you sent it to me?
No, I think it was, but I didn't like the ending, and I think we ended up keeping it, and it flowed. Yeah.
Then the process of it when we went to the studio with Tone Red.
That was interesting, and I appreciate that too, because so this is why networking is just so powerful. Had I turned my nose up at Boring King when I met him, or wasn't focused on the business and some other stuff, that could have really gotten in the way of like everything that has connected since then, because that was beautiful. I'm not really the studio type, but being there, it challenged me to grow. And the engineer, Tone Red, shout out to him. He definitely, he pretty much just told me like, you ain't have enough character in there. That was do it again. Oh man. So that was interesting. And then even like being able to talk about your art amongst another fellow artist, and being able to share those ideas, like just going from being a fan, like, and just appreciating this brother music, and then like being in the studio and on the album, like within the next year of us meeting, I was just so stoked, guys. Like, so you just gotta network. You never know where your connections are gonna go. They could really help boost your life and your morale. So Thank you so much, brothers. I appreciate
you.
y'all for
Thank
being
you.
here. I love
Appreciate
y'all so
you.
much.
Love you.
And I'll be vending at the We Are the Gold show that they're having in Raleigh, in Durham at the Hayti Center. So make sure you guys come out. November 29th, it's a Black Friday. I'll post the information for the links and all of that in the bio below. And thank you all for tuning in, and we will